What are the benefits and challenges to blended and online learning coming out of the pandemic? You can see my web link to my WordPress site on this screen, as well as a QR code if you wish to access this. So why invite me to join FLIE team? Well, I've got my doctorate in learning technology design. I've got over 55 international publications, and I'm quite experienced at facilitating interactive blended learning events. So, for example, on the 20th of February, 2023, I'm invited to be a keynote speaker at an international conference, and the link is there on the bottom. You're welcome to join us. So how did I address this question? Well, I started off with doing a bit of academic research. Then I've collected a little bit of primary data. I'll share my tacit knowledge, my professional experiential knowledge, and come up with a conclusion that will be informing some recommendations. So let's take a look at some benefits for blended and e-learning and based on the academic research. Well, very common to see in the literature that there's a reduction in cost for the stakeholders in terms of travel and time. The access to resources being online is a benefit. The flexibility of the timetable, of course, is something that the stakeholders enjoy. There's evidence that through this approach that there's actually more variety to different learning areas. The self-paced aspect of it is also seen as beneficial, and because it is online in some elements of this for blended learning, there's an opportunity to work with international students, which gives a global experience. Well, challenges are listed here, where you can see we've got cost factors. Okay, so maybe you're saving money on your travel, but you've got to pay for technology. And using this equipment requires some kind of training or induction. And there's a transition from being in a face-to-face scenario to learning how to communicate and collaborate and access resources online. Motivation is a big factor. Do people want to participate? Relationships are crucial. The relationship with the tutor as well as the relationship with the other learners. So I've done a little bit of primary research, which looked at these topics. You can see in the form link below that I have this online survey that I've done rather briefly, but to give an indication of flavor from some of the students that I've been working with in the past to see their impressions about online and blended learning. So the first factor I've looked at is seeing 1 as a low importance and 5 as being high importance. I'm focusing mostly on the data which the respondents consider to be either 4 as high or 5 as very high. And so the cost of technology was only 50%. Whereas the importance of having training or being inducted properly was seen as quite important, 83%. and also this transition of the change in the way learning resources are designed was not seen quite as high at 50%, and motivation, however, was spread out quite a bit at 50%. And relationships were seen to be very high, with 83.3% of the respondents finding this as high or very high. And also the same thing of not the relationship with just the tutor, but with the colleagues, the other students in the group, right? So as a result of that, we'll take a look at a summary at the end. But let me first share a little bit about my professional experience, having worked in UK higher education for quite some time. I've have some professional experience, knowledge about these benefits and challenges. So for me, one of the big benefits is accessibility. So we may have students that are working full-time, that have family commitments, or people that may have some forms of learning constraints. And as a result of that, being able to have recordings, being able to review materials or resources or recordings proves to be very beneficial. The blended learning and online learning tends to be more personalized, trying to meet the needs of the various stakeholders. Multimodal, the interactive media now, with having interactive video and animation, gamification, all of these elements have provided the learners with this multimodal experience. The global reach is a fantastic opportunity. I've taught a number of students in the past where they have opportunities to work with other colleagues across the world. Corporate social responsibility, well, we're saving the planet. It's a green way to learn. The challenges, of course, are getting that learning culture in the organization, change management strategies, having a good communication strategy, training the stakeholders, and being able to do the research to stay up with the technology. Well, here are some conclusions. So the biggest percentage is the relationship with students. This is seen as one of the main areas that we want to focus on if we are working with blended and online learning. Same thing about the relationships with the tutor. So this aspect of social learning, being able to develop these relationships is crucial. Training also, we can't just expect people to walk in and start using tools and knowing how to have the academic skills or the software skills to be able to use blended and e-learning systems. So my recommendations would be, in order to address that first issue, develop this blended community of practice, peer support. I'm a big believer in getting the students to work together to get that kind of sense of community. Revise the communication strategy, make sure that the tutors and the students agree on the protocols and tools to communicate. That is essential in order to be able to develop these resources. And training and induction resources as well. We can get the stakeholders involved in that. We don't have to have the faculty or the training team take full responsibility of that. We can use a BT Dare to Share model where it's learner generated. I hope you found that interesting. and I look forward to hearing any comments that people may have or questions. Thank you very much.